snow's falling down on the markets tonight. The candles are glowing in soft winter light. So gather round, friends, raise a mug full of cheer. It's an outlier Christmas to close out the year. We've watched the trends dance like snowflakes in air. Some melted away, some stayed with us there. But through the cold dips and the warm breakouts too, we followed our systems like we always do. The world may be noisy, but we're calm inside, with discipline guiding us through this Yuletide. So hang up your FOMO with your stockings tonight. Tomorrow's new candles will still burn as bright. And whether it's Green Day or red on the screen day, we're trading with heart and a plan that don't sway. So here's to the outliers, steady and true, to systems we follow and charts we review, to courage and calm when the storms come on through. A very merry outlier Christmas to you. Here's to the learning, the patience we grew, to good trades and bad trades that taught us anew. We celebrate progress in everything we do. A very merry outlier Christmas to you. Now Chris gave us lessons wrapped up like gifts. Some carried us gently, some gave us a kick. We learned from each pullback, each breakout, each move, that nothing can trend till the move finds its groove. And maybe the market will jingle tomorrow, or maybe they'll wobble with holiday sorrow. But ours is a rhythm no chaos can shake, a plan we believe in, decisions we make. So light up a fire and sip something sweet. Be proud of the mindset you've strengthened each week. For snowfall may cover the world in disguise, but the trend's still the trend if you look with clear eyes. So here's to the outliers, steady and true, to systems we follow and charts we review, to courage and calm when the storms come on through. A very merry outlier Christmas to you. Raise up your glasses, we're toasting to you, to every new habit and mindset breakthrough. Here's joy for the journey and gains overdue. A very merry outlier Christmas to you. Snow's falling down and the year's almost through. Merry Christmas, outliers, from me unto you.
Good morning, Outlier. It was great to see everybody. We're going to try this yesterday morning. Didn't work out so well. We're going to try it today. Check out this holiday sweater. So my dad, I mentioned this the other day. His given birth name is Odie, and he collected lots of Garfield and Odie stuff over his life. But at some point a few years ago, he decided to give me some Christmas sweaters that he had picked up. And so like this is the Christmas sweater of the day, the Deck the Dog. So yeah, there you go. This thing is ancient. I think it's from like 1994, but you know what? Still works great. Still works great. So it's good to see everybody. Happy options deep dive Wednesday to you. I've got a great video lined up. And then stick around because we'll be doing two videos that we're going to bank one for the Christmas break. So in the middle of it, take a short intermission and then we'll be good to go. Summit says, good morning, my man. Well, good morning to you, Mr. Summit. How do you come up with these musics? It's hilarious and amazing. Shebang, dude. Oh, of course. I spend so much time in front of the computer taking all of my incredible music skills and putting... No, of course not. Rick Warfish does it. He is so stinking talented. Where is Rick? I'm sure Rick is here live. Rick is in our Bravo class right now, and Rick is a rock star, like a literal rock star. Like he has turned... I don't know what he does for his day job. I know he works in engineering, I believe, but he's clearly a very sophisticated music man as well. Nate says, where's Derpy Bad Guy Joker? Here's Derpy Joker. I got to tell you, I don't love watching the videos and seeing Derpy Joker over my shoulder. I just don't. I don't think it's a good look. I think it's ugly. I think it's nasty, of course, on purpose. So maybe we can put Derpy Joker over here. He's too close for comfort, if you want to put it that way. Yeah. But you don't want to be a Derpy Joker. So Derpy Joker's always lingering, always trying to tempt you into effing up your portfolio. It's not what you got to do. Not what you got to do. You want a Derpy Joker? You know where we got Derpy Joker? You're not gonna believe where we got Derpy Joker. We also got a Derpy Batman. Do you want to see a Derpy Batman? Derpy Joker and Derpy Batman came from GameStop of all places. GameStop of all places. Give me 30 seconds. I'm gonna put on music for 30 seconds. I'll come back and I'll show you Derpy Batman because he is not in here. He's actually, funny story. So my watch box has a glass panel. And Derpy Batman sits right behind my watch box. So when I open the glass panel, Derpy Batman's face is framed in my watch box glass, and it's really hilarious to me. Okay, I'll be back. Just a second.
No more for more, what are you doing here? You say opportunity, but what you feel is fear. Take your time and wait for the smoke to clear. Don't add to your position if it is a loser. Know where you get in and where you get out. Read charts and follow your own plan. Don't listen to jokers, don't fall for scams. When you follow rules, you are the man. Wait in cash for setups and read market charts. Going to cash is a trade, it's not just you or out. Check in with your key at the very start. No expectations on the trade, just execute. Your position now to get your ticket. First remove all doubt so you can run with it. Don't get bold when running cold. Look at the heat map when the market is fearful. Perhaps you buy the dip. Look at volume and market breadth. Look at the heat map and the VIX. A trade is not something that you can't predict. So if you are...
All right, Derpy Batman is right here. Aren't these the most ridiculous things you've ever seen? There's Derpy Joker and Derpy Batman. Who would make these things? Better question is, who's dumb enough to buy these things? Shut up. Quit looking at me like that. There you go. There's Derpy Batman and Derpy Joker. I gotta put Batman back. The point of having the Derpy Joker there is, and I think it's really appropriate to have a constant reminder that you can F up your portfolio bigly on a daily basis. If you do the wrong thing, you could absolutely take out years worth of gains, potentially your entire life savings. I don't want that to happen to you. But there's always that little demon over your shoulder who could be telling you, hey, why don't you go sell some options? Huh? Yeah, they're super disturbing. I know, right? Attila says, yeah, that's why I like it. It reminds me of when I started following Chris. There you go. Yeah, Derpy Batman. It could be Fugler's brand. I don't know. It is Fugler brand. Yeah, you're right. There you go. So if you want to find it, by all means, go Google up Fugler Batman, Fugler Joker, and then you'll find Derpy Batman and Derpy Joker. Okay. I gotta show you the funniest part though. When we got this, right, Batman's got his shorts on, and like they're pulling off one day, and then he's got a little butthole. How ridiculous is that? Come on, really? Anyway, yeah, totally. Yeah, they went to the same dentist. The guy with the Porsche saying to buy AMD while it's going down is the Derpy Joker. No, it's not a Porsche, it's a Ferrari. It's a Ferrari. Anyway, let's watch this video. I don't know if we've watched this in the past. I don't think we have, but we may have. It popped up on my my YouTubes as I was doing research, and I was like, you know what? I think this is honestly a great video because it's titled "Why You Will Probably Lose Money Trading Options." And I'll be very honest with you. If you don't know what you're doing, you're probably going to lose money trading options, right? I did. I lost buttloads of money trading options when I didn't know what I was doing. And because of that, I'm trying to help you. I mean, I literally, I am on a mission to make sure that you don't screw up your account by trading options. Okay, that's where my head is at. So let's do this. Ally is up bigly this morning. I don't know if y'all saw that. It's up almost 4% right now, pre-market. Praise Jesus. I will take a big, beautiful winner right now. But anyway, let's start with this. We'll say I lost over $200,000 trading options the wrong way. And then I sought out mentors and people who actually have made money in the markets. And all of them said, yeah, I used to trade like that too, but I don't trade like that anymore. I realized I wanted to make money. On today's video, we're going to be watching one together that says why you will probably lose money trading options. And I bet you will. But are you going to let that hold you down? Or are you going to take that as an opportunity to learn, grow, improve your life, and create generational wealth like I've done? The choice is yours. Let's watch this together.
Before I start the video, I want to address an error made by Patrick Boyle, who, other than this oversight, I generally have tremendous respect for. In a recent video, Patrick portrayed me as being shorter than Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is 6'7". I'm 6'10", 6'11".
Holy crap, are you actually 6'10"?
With hair. Patrick, please do your research. An options trader, well, a carpenter who successfully traded options for a while in British Columbia, incredibly turned $88,000 into $415 million between 2019 and 2021. But by 2022, his account was worthless. He's suing.
Hold on. Taking 88,000 to not 4 million, not 15 million, 415 million. Holy moly. And then back to nothing. Holy moly. That is devastating. I couldn't imagine what that would be like. I will never imagine what that's like because I'll never let that happen. Holy Pozzoli.
In 2021. But by 2022, his account was worthless. He's suing RBC and an accounting firm for not having given him better financial planning advice.
Right. Listen, as a random guy on the internet, and people say it's all my fault when they sell their SoFi shares. I get it. It's never your fault. No, it's my fault that I'm such a genius and I turned 88,000 into 415 million. I'm the genius. But it's RBC's fault. It's that bank's fault. It's that person's fault for letting me lose that money. It's their fault that I lost the money. It's, of course, my fault that I won the money. Like a child.
That lawsuit is not what I want to talk about, but I will mention that caution is always warranted when taking financial advice from a bank. Banks will sell you bank financial products. What I want to talk about is retail options trading, also known in some circles as degenerate gambling. I'm Ben Felix, portfolio manager at PWL Capital, and I'm going to tell you why trading options is a loser's game for most retail investors most of the time. Options are financial contracts.
Now, here's the deal. For most people, most of the time, okay? For normal people, most of the time, not for outliers, right? I've done the hard work. I have found all the ways to lose trading options. I guess haven't figured out how to speak, though. I figured out all the ways to lose trading options. I am trying to show you how to win trading options, okay? That is my passion. I love options. That is my specialty. Now, you can still go out there and be a derpy joker like this guy and F up your account royally by not listening to random guys on the internet like me. I go and listen to other random guys on the internet. But I have found the ways to not win. I have found the ways to blow up accounts. And you know what I did? I stopped saying, started saying, maybe I should stop doing that and do the literal opposite of what I was doing before. And maybe I'll start winning. And lo and behold, I started to win. So I don't want that to happen to you. But unfortunately, what's going to happen is a lot of you, I'm going to tell you what to do. In fact, I was having this conversation with my parents last night. We went to a little Christmas concert. My son was playing his Barry sax in the Christmas concert. It was brilliant. I don't know how these 8th graders are as talented as they are. I was never anywhere close to that talented when I was in 8th grade. But we're having this conversation. I was like, you know, I talk all the time about the right way to trade. And yet people still want to go rogue. And people still want to be like, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And then they go lose all kinds of big money. And they come back and they're like, oh, wait, maybe Chris was right. Yeah, I'm trying to shortcut your success. I am trying to shortcut your success. You can choose to listen or not, but I'm trying my very best to shortcut your success. That's up to you to listen.
Contracts that give the option holder the right but not the obligation to buy or sell a set quantity or dollar value of an asset at a fixed price by a set date. They are useful tools for many reasons, and the technology and its underlying mathematics have arguably revolutionized the economy and changed the world. While they can be used for good, some of their features, like embedded leverage, make them a double-edged sword. They can just as easily be used for responsible risk management and hedging as they can be used for speculation and gambling. Unfortunately, the majority of retail activity in options markets looks a lot more like gambling. But that doesn't stop.
It does. And I even mentioned before, and I did get some feedback from the outliers that they were very frustrated that I would say that. But still, I see outliers in our Discord and in the YouTube comments and things like that who act like gamblers, disguised as investors. That's not how we need to be acting, right? When I say gamblers disguised as investors, meaning they walk up into a trade, they put it all on black, and they stand back and they're like, okay, baby, here we go. Let's do this thing. Versus having a systematic, back-tested, data-proven plan to get in when you have a reason to get in and to get out when you have a reason to get out. And in the meantime, don't do anything else. That really is the difference between somebody who creates the edge as an investor versus somebody who has no edge, like a gambler, just walking in and saying, all right, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to sell that. It hurts. It hurts because it's true. But hopefully at this point, that's not happening. You've gone through OVTLYR University, right? Did somebody say OVTLYR University? Oh, that was the wrong button. No, that was still the wrong button. Frick, where did my OVTLYR University thing go? It moved on me. There it is.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Respect is earned. Respect is never given.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but it moved over, so I clicked the wrong button. Point is that we are putting on OVTLYR University 100% for free to help you be successful. There is no cost. There is no obligation. There is no email. There is no masterclass. It is 100% free on YouTube. You can go to my playlists and you'll see the Bravo class that we're in right now. You'll see the Alpha class that already finished a few months ago. The point is to make you successful. When you become successful, you'll want to be an outlier. That is the way that we're trying to structure this. Be successful without paying us a dime. And then when you're successful, come be an outlier. Okay. Now, 50% of you are going to listen passively and you're not going to do anything about it. 25% of you are going to listen. You're going to implement some of the strategies, but you're not going to do it fully. And then you're going to end up losing. You're going to come back and say, Chris made me sell my SoFi shares. Trust me, it happened. That's why I keep saying that. And then There's 25% of you are going to listen, you're going to implement, you're going to realize that actual success, generational wealth can be found in the stock market, and you have all the plans to do it, and you will be successful. You get to choose which 25% you are in. I do think the ease of online trading and the gamification have really contributed to this. Of course, it makes sense, right? When it costs you like $1 to execute your trades, or even free to execute your trades, it's a lot easier than when my dad was trying to trade years and years ago. He told me that it would cost him, $50 in commission just to execute the trade, right? When Mark Minervini started trading, in fact, he and I talked about that. It was, oh man, did I just turn off the sound? My bad. I have to do that when the OVTLYR University thing runs, because elsewise it echoes the sound. As a professional YouTuber, I've screwed up once again. That's what I do best. Point is that the cost of entry is so low now, the ease of entry is so easy now, that a lot of people treat it like gambling. It's just the truth. All right, just the truth. Yeah, I get it. Come on, people, give me a break. Professional YouTuber at work.
Trading to retail investors. Some combination of commission-free trading, high profits for brokerages, financial influencers, easy online trading and gamification, and the meme stock phenomenon have come together to turn retail trading into a large part of the options market. There are incredible stories, like the RBC client, at least on the way up, and Roaring Kitty, the guy behind the GameStop saga, that make trading to extreme wealth seem possible. This is probably not a good thing. Experimental research suggests that when people observe successful traders, they increase their own risk-taking. That research placed participants...
Okay. So I actually like this idea. Observing successful traders increases your own risk-taking. You can observe every single trade that I put on for years on YouTube. It is 100% for free. All the receipts are on YouTube. My compound annual growth rate over the last 4 years is over 44%. Now, does that mean I win every trade? No, of course not. But over the course of years, I've created amazing amounts of wealth. In fact, this year, I'm still up about 40% just on this year, which is pretty cool. That's falling right in line with the average, but it is what it is. Now, next year, when I'm entering and hopefully dominating the US Investing Championship with all of our other outliers who are going to sign up, every single trade that I put on in the US Investing Championship will also be here on YouTube. But that doesn't mean that every single trade that I take is going to win. It is a fact that I will be planning on losing 43% of the time. Can you plan on losing 43% of the time? Most of you not. Most of you not. So if you can't plan on losing 43% of the time, which gives you a 57% win rate, which is actually outstanding, you probably shouldn't be in this game at all. You should probably be planning on like losing 60% of the time, 70% of the time. What do you mean, Chris? I don't want to lose 70% of the time. I want to win 70% of the time. I'm going to go out and I'm going to sell those options, because then I'll win 70% of the time. Well, you got to look at the risk and return here, right? If you have a 70% win rate, but each loss takes you 6, 8, 12x times of winning trades to get back to break even on the one loss, you're never going to be successful. Mathematically, it has negative expectancy. It's not going to happen. But if you lose 70% of the time, and those one winners are 6, 8, 10, 12 times as big as each loser, your expectancy is enormous. Right? You have to balance the risk and return. You have to balance the risk and return with the win weight. With the win weight. Once you can balance all that together, even though you can't say it correctly, then you can find a huge amount of success in the market.
Into a trading environment with a starting amount of capital and allowed them to trade over 2 trading rounds. After the first round, participants in the experimental condition were shown the performance of the top 3 participants, while those in the control group were not. The authors find that traders exposed to their top performing peers tend to take more risk, trade more overall, and be less satisfied with their own results. The same thing happens online in real life. Successful traders post their wins for everyone to see, making it seem possible for everyone else watching.
And successful traders who are honest, like we are here on this channel, post their losses as well.
Social influence and comparison are likely part of the problem, but it doesn't help that retail-focused trading platforms promote options trading to their customers, often pretty aggressively. I've seen ads that make trading options sound easy, smooth, and smart in an effort to compel users onto an options trading platform. This is no mistake. Retail options trading is profitable for the brokerages facilitating it. Brokerages promote options trading to their customers as a way to boost profit potential, but I wonder whose profits they're really talking about. In reality, retail options traders have lit huge...
Have you ever heard of the book, Where Are the Customer Yachts? That is a book. I've not read it. I've only heard of it. Where are the customers' yachts? Meaning, the brokerages make it so easy to get in and be part of the game, but yet, if the game works so well, why don't all the customers have yachts? Y'all ever heard of that? Type a 1 in the chat if you have heard of this book or read this book. Type a 2 in the chat if not, if this is the first time you've heard of it. I probably want to read this over the Christmas break.
Huge amounts of their own money on fire by trading.
Actually, while Ben Felix is talking here, I'm gonna pull out my phone on Amazon. I'm gonna order it right now because I do want to read it.
Options. For example, a 2023 paper in the Journal of Finance estimates that the aggregate portfolio of retail investors lost $2.1 billion from November 2019 to June 2021.
$2.1 billion. That's nothing. Oh, here you go. $12. I'll have it by tomorrow. Also, Chris is bougie, and I'm an itty bitty baby boy who likes to have my stories read to him. So it's on Audible as well. So I'll be buying it in 2 different mediums. That's what I do. Okay, cool. I'll have that by tomorrow. I'm very excited about that.
This finding is not unique or unexpected. A 2022 paper simulates returns from an empirical distribution of option trades and compares them to stock trades. The authors find that returns on options trades have considerably higher volatility and are extremely skewed with some very rare but incredible outcomes, like the examples I mentioned earlier, but the majority, over 75% of options trades, lose money.
Look at this this curve right here. I find this super interesting. So let's zoom in right here. So the majority option full return, the blue box is stock full return, the red box is option full return. Okay, you can see the majority of them happen right around 0. But then there's also a huge, giant, scary candlestick right there of absolutely 0 value. Like, this is portfolio return, so I'm assuming like percentage return. People basically getting to break even. A handful of people create, you know, a good amount of return. This is where I'm living, somewhere over here, right? This is 200% return. If my 44% compound annual growth rate puts me about right there. I did one year have this, right? So 2021, I had 172%. 2022, negative 20%. What? You had negative returns in 1 year? Yeah, it happens. 2023, I was up 5%, which is not much, obviously. 2024, however, I was up 92%, right? That's what 44% compound annual growth rate looks like. 172, negative 20, plus 5, plus 92, right? And then, of course, there's the outlier over here. This is where we want to live, right? If this is 400, this is probably like 1,000% return. This is where I'm trying to hit next year in the U.S. Investing Championship. Oh, good gravy. That would be the best.
And over half of the option portfolios in the simulation lose more than 90% of their value. This is the reality. It's kind of like a lottery. There are a few big winners, but the vast majority of retail options traders and the average retail options trader loses money. Another study on 68,000 trading accounts and more than 8 million trades in stocks and options at a large online broker in the Netherlands similarly finds that most investors take significant losses on their options trades, much larger than the losses they take from equity trading.
True. But they can also take, and if we're talking percentage change on one individual option, right? I mean, it's just like a stock in the fact that you could lose 100% or you could gain infinity percent. So I don't know. I just look at that like, yes, I've had plenty of option trades that went down 50%, but I've also had plenty of option trades that went up 300%. So don't be discouraged by that. No treading on me says, I need the good gravy recipe. Shut up.
The authors also demonstrate that retail investors do not use options for hedging their underlying stock positions, and that single men with low incomes and little investment experience trade the most.
Okay. I do want to talk about hedging. Shane the plumber asked about hedging. We'll talk about that when the video's over, because I have some pretty controversial viewpoints here. And then single men. I mean, it's like a video game, right? My cousin has a son that is 26 years old. He's a bit older than me. And last night I was having a conversation with my parents, and they mentioned Ross. So Ross is 26 years old, single, goes to work, comes home. I think they said he works at TxDOT. Goes to work, comes home, goes into his room, plays video games all night, and he still lives at home with his parents. And they were having a conversation with him. All right, Ross, it's time for you to move out, Rossi. And it's like, yeah, I mean, basically, if you want to think about it, you could treat trading like a video game. And if you know the rules, you can be really successful at any video game. But if you don't know the rules, it could be detrimental to your entire life.
Together, this suggests that gambling and sensation seeking, rather than hedging, are why people are trading options. Guys, get a less expensive hobby. Go outside. In case there was any doubt that options trading is being treated like a casino by retail investors, a 2023 paper in the Journal of Finance finds that 50% of retail trades in their sample are in risky options with less than a week to expiration, with an average quoted bid-ask spread of 12.6%, and they lose money on average. Retail investors in their sample strongly prefer call options to puts. They trade mostly at the money or slightly out of the money options, which have especially high trading costs.
Which I'm glad that he mentioned that, because it's funny to hear, because all of that he describes, less than a week, out of the money or at the money, high trading costs, high bid-ask spreads, are the opposites of what we do, are the opposites of what it takes to be successful. Pretty cool, right?
With an average quoted bid-ask spread of 29%, they typically trade small amounts, and they prefer options on attention-grabbing stocks. They also document that retail activity in both call and put purchases increases significantly during retail investor frenzies like GameStop and other meme stocks. The authors again suggest that this is evidence of retail investors having speculative...
Well, it sounds like the market cycle. What is the market cycle? Hold on. I have a slide for that. So I'm sure many of you have heard of the market cycle. For those that haven't, this is representative of basically every huge move that you've ever heard of followed a very similar path to the market cycle. And it's not just theory. I can show you Tesla having done this just in 2025. Tesla did exactly this year, right? Where it round tripped this huge big move. And this is what gets people excited, right? This has happened so many times. It happened all the way back in like the 1300s or whatever with the tulip mania. Okay. This pattern repeats over and over and over because it's real. It is not theory. But what happens is most of the people buy right here at the top, right here at the thrill euphoria stage. They have no exit plan. They have no exit plan. And then when it gets down to the bottom, down here, that's when they sell. That is why over and over and over and over, people blow 90% of their accounts in the first 90 days of trading because of this. This is exactly the reality of trading. Your job is to run it up and then get out of the way. This is why I say all stocks are bad, but every once in a while they act right, right? This stock is a bad stock, but it definitely acted right. Your job is to identify when it's acting right and get in and let that dude run,
rather than hedging motives behind their trades. A 12.6% or 29% bid-ask spread is a very high transaction cost to overcome. But the high cost of retail options trading will not always be obvious to the retail trader. Brokerages promote zero or low commissions on their options trades, but those explicit costs are only one component of the cost of trading. A 2022 study using a data set from the NASDAQ stock market finds that retail investors display 3 wealth-depleting behaviors when trading options. They overpay for options relative to realized volatility, they incur enormous bid-ask spreads, and they sluggishly respond to announcements. These behaviors translate to losses of 5 to 9% on average and 10 to 14% for high expected volatility announcements. A 2021 study on the South Korean options market shows that retail investors generally prefer simple option strategies which provide directional exposure to the underlying asset.
That's where I live. Simple option strategies that provide exposure to the underlying asset. And I didn't make that up on my own. In fact, Larry Height, one of the original market wizards, the first ever portfolio manager to manage $1 billion, taught me that strategy. Okay. And some of you choose not to listen, but whatever, you do you.
And they tend to lose on their trades. Even the top 30% of retail investors lose money in the options market in the South Korean sample. Options trading platforms have more recently started offering complex multi-leg options. A 2023 study finds that retail trades in complex options return negative 16.4% over 3 days on average, with losses increasing with...
Okay, I have to do this real quick. Iron Condor. This is the strategy that broke me. This is the strategy where I thought I was a genius, and I'm trying to find a representative one. This is the strategy where I thought I was a genius because the stock could move up, it could move down, or it could go nowhere, and I would profit no matter what. It's only if it had a big move to the upside or big move to the downside where I'd get hosed. Guess what happened? Over and over and over again, huge moves to the upside or huge moves to the downside. I still had an 84% win rate. 84% win rate, baby. Yet, why is my account down $200,000? Hold on. 84% win rate. Negative $200,000. Something doesn't add up here. What didn't add up here was the risk that I was taking. I didn't understand the risk that I was taking. And what he just said, I want to go back to that.
Complex leg options. A 2023 study finds that retail trades in complex options return negative 16.4% over...
Complex trades, multi-leg trades, returned on average negative expectancy. Why? Because the amount of money you can make is 6, 8, 10x less the amount of money that you can risk. Now, trust me, I understand the sexiness of this. I still see it on a daily basis. Some person who doesn't know how to trade coming onto the YouTube platform and being like, here's an opportunity to get to scam the mess out of some people, right? I'm going to tell them that if they do iron condors, because this happened to me, that the stock can go up, it can go sideways, or it can go down, and they're going to profit no matter what. Then they'll pay me $1,000 for this course that I'm going to offer. And then I'm going to make so much money from these idiots. It's such a sexy proposition. And I'm going to make so much money from them. Oh, I can't wait to be such a millionaire, not from trading, but from the people who they scam into thinking that this is the best way to trade. I'm here to tell you, if anybody is telling you to sell options, run as fast as possible. Because, as Cindy Wahoo, one of our Bravo students, says, it breaks the golden rule of leverage. Putting yourself in a situation where you can lose more than you can make. And even with an 84% win rate, you can definitely lose a lot more than you can make.
For 3 days on average, with losses increasing with complexity. The findings suggest that retail investors may not fully understand the risk-return trade-offs in complex option strategies, and that they're lured in by leverage and the potential for lottery-like payoffs. Despite some incredible success stories, which we should expect in the distribution of options trading outcomes, trading options has generally been a disaster for retail investors, which we should also expect. Retail investors typically use options for speculative trading, pay high transaction costs, and lose money. All of these negative effects are amplified when investors are shown a successful trader's outcome, which in the world of social media is pretty easy to find, even when...
Because most of them just brag about their wins. They don't actually show what their portfolio looks like, right? They don't document the process of what it's like to go day to day to day. In fact, my portfolio will sit in cash for months, with nothing to do. And then I'll get busy. I'll get real busy real fast. And then I'll go back to cash, right? That is the reality of trade. Trading is meant to be boring. If it's exciting, you're doing it wrong.
When in reality, most people are losing money. I think it's also problematic that maybe other than this video, you wouldn't hear any of this if you tried to learn about trading options on YouTube. Most of the videos I could find are telling you how to trade options, how much money you can make trading options, and how to sign up for their course. I'd bet...
That's funny. That's kind of what I was saying.
That most of the people behind those videos have not read the papers showing how poorly trading options tends to perform for retail investors. Just take a minute to think about it. Financial markets are highly competitive. Retail investors do not have the same resources, information, or knowledge as institutions, and they're more prone to behavior.
But you can when you sign up for OVTLYR with just 82 cents a day. I'm sorry, I had to do that pitch. So what do we learn from this, right? More than likely, studies have shown that you are going to end up losing in the market, not just in options, right? Let's be realistic here. The rule of thumb is 90% of traders lose 90% of their account in the first 90 days of trading. Options or stock, it's the same thing, because they can't let go of their losses. That at the end of the day, that is the one thing. It's not about the winners, it's about the losses. Clearly, it's about the losses, right? Now, I'm giving you all the tools to be successful, but it's completely up to you. It is completely up to you. Take the personal agency. In fact, I worked with a trading psychologist for years. The biggest takeaway that I took from that whole experience was having personal agency, right? I'm in control of my trade. I decide when I'm going to get in. I decide how big I'm going to get in, and I decide where I'm going to get out. Nobody else is clicking that mouse to do it for me. Once you accept that personal agency, it's really freeing, because that means I have the power to make sure I don't screw up. I have the power to be successful. I have the power to make Masters of the Universe money. All right. There were several questions that came through, and I want to answer as many of them as I can. So the first question has to do with Discord. Let me pull up Discord. High skiing down within. High skiing down within. High ski Dom. High skiing. Wait, no, it's not. I did it. That was honest. It's not high skiing. It's his kingdom within. Okay, that's almost as good as Nuthra option. Nuthra option was no other option. Okay, that was a good one actually. High skiing down within. High skiing down. No, high skiing down with him / his kingdom within. That was a good one. Thank you for that. That's a question. I have a Thinkorswim script listed on Discord, but I don't have the TradingView script listed. How do I get it? Easy peasy. Go into our Discord, go to the FAQ and members section. It's actually easier than you think. Go to TradingView, boom. It's just right there. It's easier than you think. Mr. High Skiing down within. Good morning, Chris. Do you have your video on how to set up your scanner? I heard so we're doing some updates at this very moment, so I won't show it right now, but you can actually set up your scanner to be identical to mine. Go into the trading plans over here, click the Google Doc right there, and there is a slide. I'll show you the slide. It looks like this, has a circle on it, for my exact screener settings, like that. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. That's what it looks like. Take a screenshot or jump into that Google Doc right there. Shane the Plumber says, when developing your plan in the early days, did you ever hedge your trades? So I don't like the idea of hedging. At some point, I'm sure I did, but let's talk about why. Let's say that, in fact, let me see if I can Google this. So hedge long stock with put options. Let's see if there's a good image of this. See if there's a good image to go along with this. Not necessarily a good image. Hold tight. We'll just do this. No, that's it right there. Okay, cool. Let's open a new tab. Let's zoom in. Okay, so the green line right there is your stock position, right? Clearly, as it goes up in price, it goes up in value, you make money. If it goes down in price, it goes down in value, you lose money. A put option is a protective put, is what people call it, that goes up in value as the price of your stock goes down, right? So the put price is this blue line. Okay, now what ends up happening is that it offsets the losses from your stock gain. So it looks like this. Okay, so it looks like this. So when you combine the gains from the put and the losses from the stock, it looks like this. Now, by doing so, in fact, you're basically throwing good money after bad, or bad money after good, whatever the saying is. Because if you want to be long the stock, just be long the stock. Because you're going to have to pay money for that put. And there's a chance that put just expires worthless. It's essentially like buying insurance on your stock. Okay, if my stock is $100 a share, I'm going to buy a put for $5 a contract, which is, basically saying I'm going to take and make my shares cost $105 by doing so. Okay, I now need 5% more just to break even. Now imagine you buy a put every month. So every month, you're now throwing more money out the window and you're saying, oh, wait a minute. I need more insurance. The insurance expired, so I need another insurance policy. So 5% a month, 5% a month, 5% a month. That's 60% over the course of a year. So you need your stock to go up 60% over the course of a year to make up for the puts that you bought. Super sucks, right? Now, imagine if the price of the stock goes down. Cool. You didn't lose money, but you still spent money to buy the put. How about you just not buy the put? And if the price of the stock goes down, you just get out of it. That is what a successful trader would do. Now, I saw somebody in the comments one day. They're like, you're so stupid. That's why hedge funds exist. No. Hedge funds exist so that they can make money going up and they can make money going down. Okay. A hedge fund doesn't sit there and say, I'm going to buy a bunch of stocks and then I'm going to buy a bunch of hedges. No. They have the opportunity to enact whatever strategy they choose to. So my personal opinion is buying a hedge is a huge waste of money. If you're that worried about your position, just get out. You don't need the insurance when all you have to do is get out. Imagine, hear me out. Let's continue this insurance analogy, right? Let's say you bought a house. The house is going up in value. Once the house started to go down in value, you could sell it the very day you saw it starting to go down in value, and then you don't have the house anymore. Or imagine your house catches fire. Where's all the wood? I want to knock on all the wood. Dear Lord Jesus, don't let my house catch on fire. Imagine your house catches on fire, and you're like, no big deal. I'll just move out. That's exactly what it's like when you're a successful trader and you realize you don't need hedges. Just get out of the way. Brandon is an outlier now. Let's go, Brandon. We need some early morning sirens to celebrate this great accomplishment. You got it, dude. I got you right here. Let's go, Brandon. Everybody say, let's go, Brandon, in the chat. Let's go, Brandon. Everybody in the chat with the LFG. Wait, no, not LFG. Let's go, LGB. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's going to get me in trouble. That'll get me canceled. Let's go, Brandon, in the chat. No LGBs. We're not doing that. Not around here. I feel so blessed to have you, Brandon, and I'm thankful to you, my friend. Here's his first hashtag outlier. Congratulations, Brandon. What's up, JC? What's up with AGI? The screen is all green. I don't know, dude. Sounds good to me. It sounds like you're on top. JC is one of our alpha students, and a successful alpha student at that. What's the difference between alpha and bravo? The alpha group was 9 gentlemen. The bravo group is 7 gentlemen and 2 ladies. That's the only difference. Now, there's really no difference. It's a class. The class ended. We've started a new class. That's about it. I am trying a couple different things trying a couple things as well. Rob says, it sounds crazy, but every hedging strategy I ever tried has not worked. And I've tried a lot too. I don't know. Are order blocks a get out now or an end of day? Okay, so order blocks are a end of day type of situation unless you get smashed into them. So let's talk about this because we have a trade on right now that I know is crashing into an order block this morning. Ally up 4.3% this morning. And let's go take a look at Ally. An amazing trade that we put on, running right up into this order block. Okay, so this smaller order block right here is 81, 82 days old. In my trading plan, and this is what I care about, is following my plan. In my trading plan, I'm looking to exit if it hits an order block at least 120 calendar days old. Okay? Now, this one right here, I would ignore. But right on top of that dude, double stacked on it, is another order block. And this one is 935 days old. 935 days. And you can see it's already hit it and wicked back down. So the way that I trade this, and I'm not going to deviate from my rules, and I've already marked on the chart where that old order block is at. When it runs into it, I will set an emergency exit midday And if the 1020 runs all day on the 5-minute chart, I'll let it run all day. And then I'll close at the end of the day. If the 1020 hits it and comes back down and crosses under, I will get out. So what I'm looking for, and I can actually set the alert right now, is the 10 going under the 20, and that will be my exit point today because it has already run up and hit where that order block level is at. So let's go add that alarm real quick. Alert, create alert, ally, price. I don't want price. I want the EMA 10 crossing under the EMA 20. Same on the chart, 5-minute chart. And then I'll just make this keep hitting me every 5 minutes until I disable the alert. So then the 10 crosses the 20 on the 5-minute chart, then I'll get alerts. So now I don't have to look at it the rest of the day. How nice is that? I have my emergency exit in place and I don't have to do anything in the meantime. Pretty sick, right? That's the plan, DeHammer. That's the plan. Kitchener says, I've tried taking both sides of the same trade and lost in both directions by hedging. Right. So that hedge definitely didn't work out. OMG, me too. The closest hedge that ever worked for me was buying puts 3 months out and forming a ladder, but it was a huge waste of money. Dr. J, how does delta being close to 1 affect the price as price increases? H-band has decreased in option price 20% with the stock price increasing. I don't know. So let's go to H-band. Let's go to the daily chart. So without getting like into your portfolio, I'm not 100% sure what you're seeing on your end, but how does delta being close to 1 affect the price as price increases? So delta means that for every dollar the price of the stock goes up, that's how much the option price will go up. So we'll just look at new real quick. So in this case, the 72 delta goes up 72 cents for every $1 move in the underlying stock. So 100 means it's going to move 1 for 1 with the stock. Jake Kling says, so Chris, maybe I don't fully understand. Did I take out a HELOC, put it on SoFi, and then go pick up my Lambo? That is exactly what we teach. I've made 2,500 videos here on YouTube documenting when I got the HELOC, when I bought SoFi, and all the colors of Lambos that I bought that are now parked around my Lambo-shaped pool. Yes, exactly, Jake. Have you guys done any back testing regarding stocks that are over the 1020 but under the 50? So at least. So we've done extensive back testing. The 10 over the 20 price over the 50 works every time because it's math. Now, don't get it confused. That doesn't mean that every time it happens, it's going to be a giant winner. Tesla's a perfect example. I like to show this example over and over and over because this happened once with a small win, once for a break even, and once with a giant win. Okay. The 10 went over the 20, price went over the 50, 3 different instances with 3 totally different outcomes. Most of the positions will be closed as the options will expire next week. Yeah, I'll be rolling my stuff starting maybe today. We'll see. What does this mean? The following order is expected to place the account into a concentrated position with PNR inside the EPR. I have no idea, my friend. I would ask Google or ChatGPT. I don't know what that means. Jamie, in the last week prior to expiration, if I roll the position once and roll the position is just short of break even, but the overall position is up, should I roll out or exit? That's up to you. So let's talk about this. Right, 1 week to expiration. This is what the checklist I'm going to go through, starting probably today. And for sure by Friday, any options that I have that expire next Friday, I will be out of, without a doubt. Is the position already profitable? If no, just close it. It didn't work out, and that's okay. But now a lot of people won't. They'll be like, but, excuse. No excuse. Follow your plan. Is it already profitable? Yes. Can you roll out for a credit? Let me add out right here. Can you roll out for a credit? You're going to have to do roll out and up. If no, you got to close it. If yes, then you just roll. You roll from, it's actually not that hard. I'll show you what it looks like. So let's go here. Let's say that we're going to roll Zion, roll and we go over to the options grid for Zion. And okay, in this case, we're already in January, but let's say that we wanted to roll out in time. We're not going to be able to roll from strike to strike, from same strike to same strike into the future, because it will cost more, because there will be more extrinsic value. So if we were to roll from strike to strike, that would be a debit of 30 cents. So we take on 30 cents more risk. I don't want to take on more risk. I want to reduce risk. Now, that's why I say you can't roll strike to strike. You have to roll up and out. So let's say we roll from the 52s to the 55s. Then we're rolling out in time. So it has another month to work. And we're taking a credit of $1.30 in this case. So yeah, that reduces your risk and gives you more time. That's the goal here. That's the goal here. Let's see the next question. How do I calculate my ATR to know when I should roll my position? Does the deep thought script do that for me? So ATR is actually pretty simple. Just go into TradingView, go to, and this is important because there's a million ATRs. You don't want to use any of these ATRs. The only one you want is the original ATR that's in the technicals. Go average true range. Okay. That's saved as one of my favorites. When you add it, it's going to show up at the bottom down here. Hang on. This is not ATR. That was one that Carol was using that she showed me in class yesterday. And then that does all the calculation for you, of course. And when I put this line here, what is this? Tesla. The ATR of Tesla was 2004. So the volatility, the average true range over the last 14 candles, that's default, that's just what I use, was $20. Now the average true range is $16. So it's come in by about 25%. So the volatility has come down by 25% or so, which means you actually could take a 25% bigger position and have roughly the same amount of risk as you would have just a couple of weeks ago. Pretty cool, right? ATR will change from stock to stock, from day to day, from month to month. So anytime you put on a trade, you want to make sure you get the most, this freshest ATR. Will you still sell Ally at the end of the day, even if the order block has been blown through? Let's go take a look at that. Ally. Oh, it's up 4.3 or 4.6% right now. Listen, if Ally closes over 45.61, I'm going to hold that bad boy. That is glorious. That means it chewed up all of these sell orders all day long, and it's now sitting up here. And what do you want to bet? That this is the highest price that it would have been in 3 years? Since January of 2022, almost 4 years. That is a very, very, very bullish place to be. Now, it does have earnings here in a couple weeks, so you got to be aware of that. But yeah, dude, if it closes over 45.60 or whatever, and it doesn't cross down during the day, I will gladly hold that. Absolutely. Eric's from Mexico. What's up, Eric? Good to see you. Are you going to record in Discord the details of the market positions you'll be using? Of course. Of course, Eric, every trade that I've put on for years and years and years is already in Discord, and nothing's going to change about that. You'll just go into the Discord, OVTLYR trading room, and you will literally see my trades for years and years and years. Now, you'll see Joe posting things for me because honestly, it makes my life so much easier to put on the trade and then have Joe do the posting here rather than me put on the trade and then me have to post it here in the Discord. But yeah, dude, every single trade that I put on the U.S. Investing Championship will be here. In fact, there's where I sit right here. Putting my money where my mouth is. And I encourage you to go on every other YouTuber's channel and tell them to enter the U.S. Investing Championship. Put their money where their mouth is, right? If they're that good, then they'll be able to put their results out for the whole world to see. Just saying. Just saying. Steve says, does Delta work the same when the price is going down? CVE price is down 86, but the option price is down 82. Delta is currently 75. So it's interesting. Delta isn't perfect. I'll put it that way. The price of the option, in theory, should change by the price of the Delta. But we've all seen it, right? We've all seen it. We've all seen it where a stock is running. It's up bigly. And you're actually getting greater than an 80 cent for every $1 change. And we've also seen it where it's gone down and you're losing more than 80 cent, right? That's the ballpark you can get. And there's nothing better we can do about that. But it's a really good question, though. That's something actually I measured for several months. Is there a difference between the bid ask important when rolling if we get a debit? Do not ever get a debit. If you're doing Narcillian, Mr. Narcissist. The The plan is to reduce risk. If you roll for a debit, you have added risk to the trade. If you've rolled for a debit, you've done it wrong. It's a fact. You cannot roll for a debit successfully because you're taking additional risk in the trade. So it does matter quite a bit. When you're near expiration and have to roll out and up, are you still looking for the 80 delta? Yeah. I mean, delta is fungible. I like 80 as like, imagine you are, you're throwing darts. 80 delta is somewhere on the board, right? But I could also move up to the 90. I could also move down to the 70, and I'm still on the board. Does that make sense? It doesn't have to be perfectly 80. When you roll out and up, are you still only rolling if the delta? Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Precisely. Yes. All right. Thank you guys so much for letting me hang out with you this morning. Don't forget to sign up for OVTLYR for 82 cents a day. And if you're ready to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, click one of these two buttons, and we'll talk soon. Okay. We're going to take a short intermission. So the Tesla service people. So I own a Tesla Model Y Performance. It's amazing. Having a little bit of warranty work done, and they actually come to you. They do house calls. It's so sick. They're going to show up here in the next 30 minutes or so, between 9:30 and 10:30 Central Time. So there's a chance that I might have to deal with that, but I need to make another episode for Christmas time. So we're going to do a very short intermission, and then we're going to get on to the next video. I don't think it's super long. That video wasn't super long, but I had a lot to say. So let's do this video real quick. Short intermission, coffee break.
A market has 5 stages. Ride the waves, don't sink in cages. The 80% is where you'll thrive. Forget the peaks, just stay alive. Counter trend, it pulls you down. Small losses flip this trade in town. Every trade's a class you take. Confidence grows with each mistake. When the charts are green and full of flame, stay sharp, don't play emotional games. Stick to your plan, the line is thin. Manage the risk and you'll begin. Oddly 9 speaks its truth. Patterns whisper through the roof. Master the dance between red and gold. The dreams and the discipline you hold. Patience is your undercover key. Timing's everything in this symmetry. Don't chase the hype, don't let it blind. Profits flow and focus aligns. When the charts are green and full of flame, stay sharp, don't play emotional games. Stick to your plan, the line is thin. Manage the risk and you'll When the charts are green and full of flame, stay sharp, don't play emotional games. Stick to your plan, the line is thin. Manage the risk and you'll begin.
And we're back. How many of you stayed? How many of you stayed? All right. So this video is popping right now, and I want to watch it with you. This is the most dangerous Fed cut in history. That's a great title. I can't fault him. Okay. Here we go. So I don't know Ross Givens. I feel like he and I would get along, though. I see a lot of similarities between me and him. I also know that he has a fancy watch like I do. At least he wears it in his videos. But yeah, I think Ross and I could hang. I think Ross would compete in the U.S. Investing Championship. I think he's the kind of guy who actually would put his money where his mouth is. But what I think will be a lot of fun, which is why I want to watch this video, is the Fed rate cut is today. But this is not going to air until the week of Christmas. So then you'll be able to see what happens between now and Christmas. And then you leave comments on the video. That'll be really cool. That'll actually be super duper cool. Mo Fiaux. Mo E. Hang on, let me see if I can say this correctly. Mo E. Fiaux. Mo E. Fiaux says, watch this last night. I'm totally joking with you, mofo. I'm just giving you a hard time. All right. Oh, Carol Catherine made it. We were just playing a Carol Catherine song. I know it, guys. I'm just playing. That's one of the jokes around here. Come on, Mo E. Fiaux. All right, let's watch this. Let's watch this. Oh, hang on. We can do the what is it? CME. There you go. If you ever want to know. So I did consulting. So actual finance bro over here, not a guy who pretends to be one on the internet. I actually did consulting with credit unions for 12 years, specifically about what will happen to their balance sheets if the Fed raises rates or lowers rates. So I've been looking at this tool for the last dozen years, right? But now people are starting to pick up on it because random guys on the internet like myself are talking about it. But this will show you the likelihood of rate cuts or rate increases, right? What is the likelihood that by October of 2027, where rates will be? If the current rate's 375, there's only a 3% chance it'll still be at 375 right now. Now, this is obviously meaning a 97% chance it'll be anything below that. So I want to pull this up here. And okay. Close this. There we go. Like a professional YouTuber. All right. So is this the most dangerous rate cut in history? This chart right next to me says that the Fed is going to cut rates with 90% certainty today. Today is December 12th. Now, here's what's fun about this. We are intentionally airing this about 2 weeks after the Fed makes a rate cut to see if this actually is the most dangerous Fed cut in history, which is the title of this video we're going to watch together from Ross Evans. Let's see. Now, what I want you to do is leave comments below on this video, particularly on this video, to let me know what happened over the last 2 weeks. I don't know. I can't see the future. Let's see what he has to say.
History is being made. The Fed is gearing up to cut rates for the third time in 2025, and the S&P 500 is still sitting just beneath its all-time highs. That's 3 rate cuts in a year without a major recession, without a financial crisis or a pandemic or anything dragging down the economy. They are cutting rates into good times, something we almost never see. And every time the Fed has cut rates, while stocks were near highs, they went up the following year. The S&P 500 has risen by an average of 13.
Hang on. I do want to add a little context to this because you can actually add this onto your chart in TradingView. You can add in the Fed funds rate and you can see side by side, right? What's really, I love this, by the way. This is something I only learned about this year. I wish I'd known about it sooner. But you can zoom out and the this line right here is the Fed funds, and then the SPY is the stock chart below it, right? So a lot of the common theory is that if the Fed raises rates, stocks go down. That definitely did not happen right here. The Fed raised rates, stocks went up the entire time. If the Fed lowers rates, stocks go up. Well, that definitely held true here. They lowered rates and stocks went up. Okay. So I just find this super interesting when people want to make the correlation. I'm not saying Ross is making that, but that's the idea that if the Fed raises rates, stocks go down. I don't know what happened in 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019, but it sure as hell looked like they raised rates while the market went up the entire time. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like to me. But clearly I'm just a random guy on the internet. I don't know what I'm talking about, but that looks very obvious to me. So I don't want you to assume that if rates are cut or if rates are held flat, that means it will be a 100% positive correlation to your investment. Because, like, look right here, the Fed held rates flat and the market went down early 2025, and then it went gangbusters up after that point. Just a real thing. Just a real thing.
13.9% over the next 12 months. And at the same time, we're experiencing one of the biggest technological revolutions of our lifetime. Artificial intelligence is boosting productivity in ways we have not seen since the Industrial Revolution or the birth of the internet itself. But AI has a downside too. It's killing jobs. November payroll data revealed that we actually lost jobs last month. And job creation has been declining all year. The unemployment rate just hit 4.4%. So what happens when stubborn inflation, a cooling labor market, and the biggest technological boom in 2 decades all collide with a Federal Reserve that keeps cutting rates? Well, let's break it down. Now, on Wednesday, the Federal Reserve will execute its 3rd rate cut of 2025. And the reason hasn't changed. The labor market is cracking. For 4 straight years, the focus has been...
Oh, that's interesting. He's using the Kalshi betting market. Okay. I mean, it's very, very similar to this, but it does track over time, which I like.
Almost entirely on inflation, but that's only half of the Fed's job. They're also tasked with maintaining stable employment. Earlier this year, we learned that last year's jobs numbers were inflated. The government revised the report.
Okay. Receipts are on YouTube. I went off on this. Like I said, receipts are on YouTube. I couldn't tell you which video, but I got 2,000 videos to choose from. It's on there somewhere. I lost my marbles many, many times last year when nobody was watching, by the way. These videos would get like 45 views. And I'd be like, in September, they said there were 150,000 jobs. And then the October numbers came out. They revised down September by 150,000 jobs. And then October's numbers were 100,000 jobs. November would come out and they would revise down October by 100,000 jobs and say November was 200,000 jobs. This was a recurring theme where basically in month 1, it was X number. In month 2, they were like, oh, my bad. We didn't mean it. Actually not. But this month is definitely right. And then they would do it again and again and again. Previous administration when that happened, of course. But yeah. They ended up being off 911,000 jobs in 1 year by effing with the statistics over and over and over.
Admitted that they overstated job creation by 911,000. Nearly 1 million jobs vanished on paper overnight. That's what started the cuts. And the data just keeps getting worse. So
it's not that they vanished overnight, right? It wasn't like a huge layoff across the entire nation, right? It really was bureaucracy's finest at work, manipulating the data to make themselves look great leading up to an election. That is exactly, precisely what it was. Politics aside, you can't doubt me on that, because when the election was over, they're like, oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. This is actually what the numbers were. Yeah.
the Fed has to cut. They have no choice. The economy needs lower rates to stimulate spending, borrowing, and investing, to let businesses breathe easier and consumers to loosen their purse strings. But inflation is still running hot. Core CPI is sitting at 3.1%. Prices are up almost everywhere, a full 110 basis points above the Fed's long-term 2% target. So inflation says don't cut, but the labor market says you have to. And all of this is happening in one of the most overvalued stock markets in U.S. history. According to Bloomberg, valuations are near higher than the peak in 1929, higher than 1960.
I don't like the idea of looking at this because value is super relative, right? We could take a look at Derpy Joker, right? We could take a look at Derpy Joker right here. And you could say, Derpy Joker was overvalued when I bought him. Look at that dude. He's ugly AF. Right. I understand. I don't want you to be a Derpy Joker. That's why we now have this as a prop. But was it really overvalued? Because maybe in a couple years from now, I could resell it for a higher price. Or maybe in a couple years from now, I could resell it for a lower price, right? Value is relative. Value is super relative. I don't like the idea of something being, quote, overvalued or undervalued. Because today, which is all that matters when you're making your trading decisions, today, that's the price that you're going to have to pay. Is that overvalued compared to the year before? Sure. Is it overvalued compared to a year from now? We don't know. It could be super undervalued compared to a year from now. So all we can look at is what is showing today, because that's the price the market is showing you right now.
Even higher than 1999, the peak of the dot-com bubble. You see, normally rate cuts happen in recessions, in market crashes, periods of financial stress like 2008, 2020 after COVID, but not this time. Despite the weakening labor market, GDP growth remains strong, over 3% annually. That alone is creating a fierce internal debate inside the Fed. Do they cut another 25 basis points, or do they go bigger, cut 50? Because look at the data. Consumer confidence in jobs.
Well, again, this is going to be really fun to watch in a couple of weeks, right? There's a 90% chance of them cutting by 25 basis points. I don't imagine Powell's going to come out with like guns blazing. No way.
Jobs has plunged to just 34%. That's a multi-year low. The jobs are plentiful index has collapsed 22 points in 2 years. The labor market has materially weakened. But meanwhile, inflation is still elevated. GDP growth is above trend, and AI is supercharging productivity and corporate profits. No wonder the market refuses to fail. The S&P 500 remains just a hair beneath all-time highs, still up more than 35% from the April lows.
Where we at? I'm just curious. As of the time of this recording, this is going to be such a brilliant video to put out later. I got to pat myself on the back, right? We're looking, oh, look at this. We've actually created 2 separate order blocks right here near the top of the SPY. We are super close to the top. In fact, let's see. How close are we to the top? Less than 1% away from the top. So I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm hoping personally, selfish reasons, because I have lots of trades on right now, that we blow through this order block and it continues up. And by the time you watch this, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, we're at new all-time highs. This has been the best ever. That would be the best. I'm just saying.
Making it one of the strongest 5-month rallies in modern history, right alongside the early stages of the 2009 recovery. And now,
okay, we need to edit this. I think the Tesla service people are calling me. Just a second here. I'm going to play a song. Okay, good news. The Tesla guy is going to be here in 5 minutes. Here's what we're going to do. I want to finish this video. I really do. I'm going to try and speed run this. It's only got like a minute and a half left. So let's see how much we can get done.
now another rate cut is about to pour gasoline on the fire. Yes, valuations are stretched, but it is nearly impossible to build a credible bear case when the backdrop looks like this. You have above average inflation. Yes, it drives up housing prices and food prices, but also stock prices, bullish. 3% GDP growth, bullish. A once-in-a-generation AI revolution, hyper bullish. 3 rate cuts with more on the way. Trump appointing a new Fed chairman, heads up. He's going to be super dovish. He's going to want to cut aggressively, bullish for stocks. We have $700 billion in annual capex in the tech sector. That stands for capital expenditures. The big guys, your NVIDIAs, your Meta, your AMDs, $700 billion a year they are spending on infrastructure, on data centers, all that money pumping into the economy. The Fed just ended its quantitative tightening program. We have $2 trillion in annual deficit spending.
Now here, he's going to tell you all these great reasons, right? And also bearish reasons. You got to come up with your own plan. You got to come up with your own plan, whatever that plan happens to be.
Do I like it? No, but it's inflationary. It's being pumped into the market, and it's going to cause asset prices to rise. We also have 13% year-over-year earnings growth on the S&P 500, nearly 50% above the long-term average of about 9%. How do stocks go down in that environment? Could we see short-term volatility? Of course, Trump's in office. The market hangs on it every
Yep. There could be a golden toilet tweet. That's for reals.
post. But long-term, asset holders are being rewarded and will continue to be. Gold knows it. Silver knows it. The housing market definitely knows it. Markets are pricing in what's coming. Lower rates in a hot economic backdrop equals higher asset prices. And this is one of, if not the best long-term environments for owning gold, real estate, stocks, and other assets that we've ever seen. The third Fed cut of 2025 is here. Strap in. This bull run isn't done. Not even close. And if you
I actually thought he was going to be more bearish, but he came through with a very bullish case here. I don't know. What did you expect? Let me know in the comments down below. Were you expecting to be bullish based on everything he said? That's a bit of a surprise for me. I thought he was going to come out very bearish here. But that's okay, right? Be sure you have a plan and follow that plan. So now what's going to be great is watching this 2 weeks from now on the replay, because now we can see what happens. Now, granted, fingers crossed, please, Lord baby Jesus, let us have a huge Santa Claus rally in the next couple of weeks. That would be amazing for my stocks. But anyway, if you're looking to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, click one of these 2 videos and we'll talk soon. All right, here's what's going to happen. Tesla guy's not here yet. I thought that was him. He's going to be here any moment. I'm going to do another special live stream to go over the trading plan after he starts working. So I don't know how long it's going to be. I want to do it while he's working rather than waiting till he's done. So just be on the lookout for that in Discord, and we will talk later. All right, talk soon. See ya. Bye. Love you. Have a good day.
Class is in session. Yeah, we're all outliers too. Grab your coffee, fire up the chart. 10 over 20, that's how we start. No panic trades, no gambler's path. Just like the turtles, we trust the math. Deep in the data, the signal's true. Save